Hi, everybody. Welcome to the recap show of the Tata Steel tournament being played right now as we speak in Wijk aan Zee, the Netherlands. This is a grand old tournament this year, as usual, loaded with great talent. After 11 rounds of play, Magnus Carlsen, world champion, is leading the field 8 out of 11. He's followed by slightly distant second is Fabiano Caruana second, with 7 out of 11. And we also have the Chinese Grandmaster Ding Liren by virtue of a nice victory today over Russian Grandmaster Tomashevsky. He has now moved into clear third place. And let's see how Ding, this is one of the highlights of the round. We had two decisive games, a lot of great action, a lot of bitter endgame play, very subtle endgame play, I should point out. A few errors, including a few real big errors, but a lot of great squeezes, or attempted squeezes here. But this is the position, a very well-played game. Tomaszewski early on seemed to have an edge against Ding, but Ding fought back, and here we see Tomaszewski with an extra pawn, but his king is rather exposed. Let's see what happened here. This is right after time control, 40 moves. Okay, Tomaszewski takes over the e-file here with rook e3, and now he's defending both his knight on f3 and the pawn on b2. But Black's playing very cleverly with queen a6. He's thinking about perhaps entering with knight d3, not to mention queen a1 check. Tomaszewski tries to do some exchanges here. But now Black soon gets his pawn back. Rook e1, he's guarding the first rank. And now that b2 pawn is just about to be gobbled. You have rook e2 for white here. Black can make further progress with rook d3. And white's still on the defensive here. So he tries knight d4. Now that looks good at first sight. Of course, now the rook on e1 is hanging. Queen b4. Knight takes rook. Queen takes e1 check. Queen g1. Queen e4 check. Queen g2. Queen b1 check. Queen g1. And after queen d3, that knight on b3 is actually in mortal danger. And looks like Black wins. In fact, Black does win. So Tomaszewski played queen e4, when in doubt centralized, but now Black has recovered at long last his lost pawn. And Black has a pretty strong attack. That h2 pawn is vulnerable. g4 is sticking out as well. But no one would have foreseen the following abrupt finish. Tomaszewski tries f6. He might have considered knight f3 here. But in that case, Black still enjoys a strong initiative after, let's say, queen c5, rook e2, rook b4. Suddenly the g4 pawn drops. Now White can play queen e3 and try to fight out a difficult ending. Certainly drawing chances, but that's not to everybody's taste. So these days we're in the age of counterplay. Tomaszewski seeks to stir up some trouble with f6. Now Black plays the automatic looking g6. Actually not a bad move. But then I think White was planning knight f3, maybe knight e5. And tactical shots, tactical hopes. The g6 is actually a perfectly good move. Even better, though, is the move queen d6, threatening mate on h2. And here White is pretty much forced to play either rook e2 or knight f3. Now knight f3 just pitches the pawn. And rook e2 walks into a pin if Black chooses with rook b4. Very favorable for Black. Or he can play queen takes f6, threatening mate. Also very strong. And White has an uphill battle there as well.